Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I want to update you on the latest that's going on in the Battlefield 4 CTE, that's Community Test Environment. Now there's been a lot of great changes in CTE since the launch, but I have to say the latest patch has added one of the coolest features that is actually a fan suggested feature that I'm really surprised to see EA actually implement, but it's so cool that they actually put it in the game, and it's being dubbed as Triage. It's a UI update that allows you to see how much time is left on a dead body before you can no longer revive it. So if you're playing the medic class and you have defibrillators equipped, when somebody dies, they now have a little timer that goes around their dead body that lets you know just how much time you have left. And this allows you to make a lot of tactical decisions based on whether or not you want to risk your life going for a dangerous revive situation. There's so many times when playing just Battlefield vanilla where you go out to get a revive and all of a sudden the timer goes up, you've risked your life for no reason, and then sometimes you just get gunned down anyway. This really lets you decide if you want to engage the enemies for a little bit longer, go for a reload, and then go for the revive at the last second. It's just a great little addition to the game that really allows you to time all of your tactics that much more precisely, especially when it comes to deciding whether or not you want to charge your defibrillators, as we all hate charging those defibs and then missing the revive window. The next big update in this patch is dealing with the scope sway issue. Now, if you're not familiar with scope sway, it has to do with an exaggerated amount of sway in your actual optic when aiming down sights and trying to acquire a target while you're shooting. There's going to be some recoil shown in the weapon animation, but it's going to be highly exaggerated compared to where the bullets are actually going. Now, because the animations are pretty much built into the game and it'd be very hard to redo all the weapon recoil animations, instead what they have done is they have made the red dot in the center of the optics basically stay still so that you shouldn't have a scope sway issue anymore, and this will allow you to be more on target. If you look on the left side of the screen, this is the CTE version of the game. You'll notice that the actual red dot moves slightly independently of the actual optic itself. On the right side is the vanilla version of the game, and you will see that the red dot is kind of bouncing all over the place. So the idea is that it's going to allow you to aim a little bit more consistently. Sure, I have to admit the screen on the left looks a little bit weirder with the red dot kind of staying in the middle and the scope bouncing all over the place, but I actually would prefer this to the vanilla version just because it is going to be a more accurate representation of the actual game's mechanics. If you check it out on the Acog here, you'll notice the same thing, a little bit less pronounced here, but it still makes a big difference. Now, I wanted to focus on the Acog because higher magnification optics have an issue where when you get shot while you're aiming down sights and shooting, you get a massive flinch effect. Well, no longer is that flinch effect as pronounced in the new CTE version, and this is supposed to make Acogs and 3.4 times optics more usable, especially on assault rifles and that sort of thing. So I'm actually trying it out here quite a bit in combat, and I'm liking it a lot because that is one of the main things that throws off your aim when you're aiming down sights with some of these higher powered optics is the flinch effect is just magnified so intensely that you often lose your target. So essentially we've had two really big updates to the medium range optics, and if you were not a fan of them before, I highly suggest trying them out again. I was really enjoying them on just about every single assault rifle I tried them out on. It allows you to be much more precise with aiming for targets at medium range engagements, and long range you can definitely tap fire and get some kills. It's kind of exciting now actually being able to do a military style loadout with an Acog, canted iron sights, and just running out there and actually being really effective rather than just using it for aesthetic purposes. Now, CTE has been working on a few other issues for a while. Rush has been one of those things that they're trying to fix and bring back into Battlefield 4. This is something that I'm really happy that they're actually looking back on this game mode. I thought they had basically just kind of left it for dead and moved on to other things, but they're coming back. They're fixing Rush on certain maps where it just doesn't work at all, and they're going to make it a fun and balanced game mode again. I don't think it's quite there yet, but they've definitely fixed a lot of things like taking out all the elevators on Siege of Shanghai and preventing people from getting up on rooftops, which was kind of one of the big issues. They've also gotten rid of commander mode in Rush, and they're doing other things like trying to fix obliteration. Now, instead of showing where the bomb carrier is at all times, making him an extremely easy target to hit, it only updates once every 10 seconds, so you can't use it as essentially wall hacking anymore. more. Plenty of other things have also been making it into the CTE version of the game. Jets now have a third-person targeting reticle. Essentially, people were drawing on their screens or putting a little tape in the center of their screen, which would allow them to know what the center point was, and then they could basically shoot from third person with a jet and be on target. So since people were doing that anyway, they just decided to put a reticle into the third-person view to make it fair for everyone. They've also made smoke grenades spawn faster. They're trying to balance out different parts of the game. Many parts of the game that essentially I think a lot of people thought they just hadn't really been paying attention to for a long time. Well, it looks like so many of our suggestions from early on during Battlefield 4 are now finally starting to make their way into CTE. Hopefully the approval process can move along quickly and we can see these updates make it into the vanilla version of the game. So now that it looks like we're actually in the fix-it mode for Battlefield 4 and even feature-adding mode for BF4, which is really incredible, what do you guys want to see in the game that hasn't been added yet? Personally, if I had to pick one thing, I would say let's add in that round spawn timer that we've gotten in Battlefield Hardline. It's such a cool way to make sure that at the beginning of any game mode, we have a good number of people on both teams that are ready to play. And it's also a great way to have fair vehicle distribution at the beginning of any game. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see added to the next CTE patch. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.